So during previous session, Tianga talked about reproducible research with R Markdown. Here I'm going to introduce you to a Python tool that allows you to do reproducible research. Okay, so let's move on to the introduction. So here, now I'm going to talk about reproducible research with Jupyter Notebooks. Previously, you learned reproducible research with R Markdown. Okay, so now we were talking about how to work with Python using the command line. But I told you sometimes when you want to work with using some advanced analytical techniques, working with the command line is a little bit challenging. So we need to find a proper IDE that allows us to make our analysis very easy. Now, when it comes, but there's a small problem. When it comes to R, now Tianga introduced you to this IDE, RStudio. So RStudio is the most popular and widely used IDE for R programming. So that is the most popular one. So everyone is using, so we can also use that. But when it comes to Python offers many different IDEs to choose from. So Python has a wide variety of IDEs available, which can sometimes be overwhelming for beginners. So this can be confusing for the beginners to decide which IDE to use. Now, if you go if you go and search on the internet, you will see different blog posts recommend different IDEs. Now, the best choice depends on your specific requirements, workflows, and personal preference. So now let's see what are the possible IDEs that we can use in order to work with Python. So here we can see the current, I got this results from this survey. We can here in this survey, through this survey, we can get an idea about the current landscape of the developer community. So according to, this is an annual survey conducted by JetBrains. So according to this 6th annual survey conducted by JetBrains, they have collected, basically they have conducted this one for the 6th time. And now they have collected information from over 29,000 developers. And the results, the report is based on this many number of participants. Now, according to this survey, this is one outcome finding that they have obtained through this survey. So they have asked which IDE editor do you mostly use for Python development? Now, according to this survey, these are the results from 2022, the latest survey. If you want to get access to the previous surveys, you can just Google, then it will bring you to this to the website where they have kept all the previous surveys. There is all the data related to the previous surveys. Now, this result is based on the latest survey. Now, according to this latest survey that they have conducted in 2022, the top 3 IDE preferred by these Python developers are PyCharm. When it comes to PyCharm, it has 2 editions, Professional Edition and Community Edition. When it comes to Community Edition, you have some limited features. More advanced features are available in PyCharm Professional Edition, but you have to pay for certain things. And the other one is VS Code, Visual Studio Code, and here you can see Jupyter Notebook. So according to this survey, the top 3 IDEs preferred by the Python developers are PyCharm, VS Code, and Jupyter Notebook. And these IDEs offer a range of techniques and functionalities that make coding in Python more efficient and convenient. So when it comes to, so now you can see there are this many number of IDEs and editors, but now you can see the most preferred editors. Okay, now we have 3 options. So how can you pick one among these top 3 options? Okay, here we have few other things that we can consider when we're trying to identify an IDE. So when it comes to PyCharm and VS Code, here they are among the top 3. So PyCharm and VS Code are commonly used by developers. So if you are more into developing a package, developing a library, then this is the best option that you can use. If you are more into developing tools, apps, then this is the best option that you can use. On the other hand, Jupyter Notebook is particularly popular among the data scientists. Jupyter Notebook is more popular among data scientists compared to PyCharm and VS Code. And now, another thing is so during this session, I'm going to select for this workshop, I'm going to select Jupyter Notebook as our developing platform, because our focus is more towards the data science part, not to the developing part. Okay, but again, as I explained earlier, ultimately the best choice depends on the specific requirement, workflow, and the personal preference. So, and another thing is, if you are a beginner's level Python user, then Jupyter Notebook allows you to learn these Python basics very easily. So that's another view from the pre-workshop survey. We noticed that some of you are in fact, some of you haven't used Python before. So that's another reason for us to consider Jupyter Notebook select Jupyter Notebook for this particular workshop. And another thing is, now during our previous session, Tianga talked about reproducible research with R Markdown. The closest equivalent to R Markdown in Python is Jupyter Notebook. So, and this Jupyter Notebook basically can be considered as a combination of an interactive editor and a lightweight IDE. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about this Jupyter Notebook. So when it comes to Jupyter Notebook, it's an open source web-based interactive computing environment, and it allows you to create and share documents containing live codes, visualizations, narrative text, equations, and interactive elements. And this is the same thing, we did using R Markdown. And just like this R Markdown, this Jupyter Notebook also provides an interface where you can write and execute code, view results, and combine it with explanatory text and rich media content. And this is how it has got its name. The name Jupyter is a combination of 3 programming languages, Julia, Python, and R, which were here you get Jupyter, Julia from Julia, another very popular language among in this data science community. So you get Julia from here, and you have Python, and you have R. That's how it has got its name. And they were the initial languages supported when it was first developed. Now it's supported many other languages. So basically from this also, you can see at the very beginning, I explained the advantage of being bilingual, the advantage of knowing different multiple languages. And here they have considered this aspect, and they have developed a single platform to support all these programming languages. And that allows different users to work together and come up with some interesting work. Okay, and another most popular advantage of Jupyter Notebook is support for reproducibility, because during Tianga's session, she talked about the importance of having reproducible report, and Jupyter Notebooks allows you to get reproducible report. And that improve the trustworthiness of your workflow and the output that you are going to share with another audience. And Jupyter Notebook provides a complete record of code, data, and analysis steps, allowing others to reproduce the result and verify the findings. And Tianga discussed these things during her session as well. Also, considering all these reasons and the focus of the workshop, we decided to use Jupyter Notebook for this workshop to discuss the Python data visualization with Python. Okay, I think now I have given you enough motivation for the use of Jupyter Notebook. Now we can move on to the basics. Okay, so when it comes to Jupyter Notebook, so let's see how we can work with Jupyter Notebook. So now I have already installed Python. So Tianga, can you see my command line?
Yes, I can see.
Okay, so now we have already, we check whether we have installed Python to our machine. Yes, we have access to that one. So now we can start working with Jupyter Notebook. So it's very easy. So now the thing that you need to do is, once you have this, you can type Jupyter Notebook here. Jupyter, and you have to leave space and notebook. Once you type this one, Jupyter Notebook, now it will open a new tab. So if you click on this one here, you can see it will open a new tab in your default web browser. And now you can see, now this is not the notebook. This is what we call the notebook dashboard. But this, now when you type this Jupyter Notebook, it will bring you to this notebook dashboard, and this dashboard will give you access. Here you can see some files. Basically this dash, once you once you pass that command to the command prompt, basically what you can see here is now this dashboard, this current dashboard will give you access only to the files and subfolders contained within Jupyter's startup directory. Now, but now you can change this startup directory very easily. For example, here, let me quickly do that. Quickly show you how you can change the directory. So if you just go to command prompt, now if you want to change the directory, previously it brought me to this Jupyter startup directory, but now I want to work in my D drive. So what you can do a very small thing. You can just do a very small slight change. Then it will allow you to get access to other directories, other drives, other directories. So basically, let's say I want to save all my work in the D drive. So what you can do is D:. You just need to type D:, then it will bring you to this. Now, if you go and type Jupyter Notebook, now it will bring you to now it brings me to my D drive. So if you want to open Jupyter Notebook from a drive other than C drive, you just need to run D:, and then it will open your directory in a new drive. Okay, so now here, when it comes to this, now again, what you can see here is the Jupyter Notebook dashboard. So, and here, another thing that you can notice is here, this is a local host and it is not a website, but it indicates that the content is being served from your local machine, your own computer. And then you can hear from this one, you can get access to the folders that you have in your D drive. You can browse the folder in which you would like to create your first notebook. Now, I want to create my first notebook on my